we can land on something out here, right? Come on. Nope. Ooh, that looks painful. Look at it just smack into him and bounce off. Yikes. Alright, we're doing something a little different, a little same this time around. We spent some time exploring outside the Golden House domain during the child boss fight, and after seeing his behavior, it made me wonder about the other bosses in the game. So let's find out what happens if we fight some of the biggest baddies in the game, all while not playing within the confines of their arenas. We begin with the big, not so bad wolf. Like many of the other boss arenas, a bottomless pit extends just below the surface. Well, sort of. While this is true of others, such as the Primo Geovishap and the Geovishap, this arena has another layer below the surface that is just the right height for our characters to stand in. From in here, we can reach the sword and begin the battle. Right away, the camera starts to shake and do weird things, though it does stabilize after the battle's intro. We are not invincible down here. On the contrary, if we get hit even once, we'll be knocked back to the surface. Noelle's shield will come in handy to prevent this. For the most part, the fight plays out the same. At times, Andrius will walk atop our location and just stand there, growling with his muzzle to the ground. He can remain as such for quite a long time, luring us into a false sense of security because he can lash out at any time. Moving to the second part of the fight. Okay, so these icicles apparently don't care about the stone surface above. One more thing to watch out for. But worst of all is his wind cleave, which is almost impossible to see down here. Clearing the battle spawns the reward blossom, which we are just out of range to reach. So maybe it could be argued that we're not really out of bounds. I mean, we are only a character's height below the ground. Unfortunately, fighting Andrius while fully out of bounds doesn't seem possible. For one, starting the fight requires activating the sword, and we can't really do that from down here. Now can we? What about someone else? They certainly can start it, but Andrius pays those of us below the surface no heed and vanishes without a trace once they leave the area. Shout out to my pal who helped me with this part. Things with the Wolf King squared away, let's move on to another of the four winds. The first thing to note about Dvalin is, well, we can't actually fight him from out of bounds. There's nothing to stand on. All this swirling debris is either something that just phases through our character or that bounces off them. And second, Dvalin is stuck in the center of the arena, save for some flyby attacks. You know, I never bothered to look before, but I guess Dvalin just vanishes after he does his flyby attack. Dvalin doesn't move around much from this spot. Well, maybe we can get him to pursue us? I thought that, perhaps by now, the camera would have disengaged and we'd be out of Dvalin's aggro range. What the? And glitchy cutscene? Things are starting to get a bit weird out here, and even though we're very far away now, he shows no signs of... Oh, wait. We're a bit over 2 minutes into gliding away from Dvalin, and we're finally free of his aggro range. It doesn't look like we've regained control of the camera, and all we have are these wind streaks to guide us. Once again, domains are proving to be absolutely monstrous in size. Around the 3-minute mark, we finally hit the teleport barrier, likely from descending rather than horizontal movement. When we get warped back into the battle, nothing changes. Part of me really hopes some crazy thing would happen, like Dvalin no longer being here, or better yet, a second Dvalin spawning in as we re-enter the fight. Before we move on, let's see if we can get Klee to land on Dvalin. Going through him, no collisions, nope, this isn't happening. Bringing this trio of battles to a close, we have the incredibly aggressive Primo Geovishap. The aggro detection extends underground, so getting close like this will wake him up. He tries to attack, again and again, failing to reach beneath the surface. Now, perhaps that makes sense. After all, why would they extend a hitbox to reach below the ground? I'd agree with that conclusion if examples of that being the case did not exist, such as Law Churls and the Andrius fight showcased earlier. Even to this shallow depth, the explosion attack cannot reach. Oh, looks like he's lost interest. I don't think he feels very good. Wait, no, he's back. And gone. And back. This process loops endlessly if we stand here. But let's see if we can take the boss down. We need a location that's more within the confines of the arena, and this is the best I've found. The Primo Geovishap gets stuck on the rock above and just stands there, repeating its explosion attack every odd handful of seconds. It isn't until his health is low that the attack is swapped for the one that forms elemental constructs that then detonate. This process, well, you can probably tell by the numbers that it took forever. My amber is built for targeting weak spots, and from here, we can't reach those. When he finally went down, it clocked in at over 10 minutes. Try as we might, we can't reach the rewards blossom from down here. Anyways, that wraps up toying with bosses, at least for now. As more are added to the game, we may revisit this topic and see what other mischief we can get up to. Should odd discoveries and strange quirks in games be the kind of extras you add to your cup of tea, consider subscribing to be notified of whatever next expedition we set out on. This is Musashi, signing off. Till next time.